Hello everyone, and today we're back into another video, and today we're going to be talking about 10 things that I really want Loomian Legacy to add in the future. 10 things that can make this game a whole lot better than it is right now. Because right now, while Loomian Legacy is still a really good creature catching game, there are a lot of things that can make this game a whole lot better for the developers and for the people playing the game. So let's head right into them right now. And the first thing I want added is making it easier to TP train Loomians, because right now, the way you TP train Loomians is you just battle the trainers out in the wild, and that's how you get your TP points. It's slow, and it takes forever to train them. Although there are these items called gummies. Here they are. And these can increase the training points by 10 in that specific stat. And these things can be relatively hard to get, especially in the normal game. You can get them throughout Mastery Awards, which is fine, but after that, all that they have left is the Coliseum. What Loomian Legacy should do is add the gummies to the arcade. Also add boost tokens while you're at it, but add gummies to the arcade. Make them like 50 ticks each, and make it so you'll actually make it easier for people to TP train certain Loomians. And yes, you can get gummies during events like Sweet Retreat and any other events that happen. But once the events are done, they're done. And the only ways you can get gummies is either from Battle Coliseum or the Mastery. Because the problem is that TP training just simply takes too long. I mean, I use hours out of my day to TP train a Loomian. I should not have to do that. And the gummies are so hard to get at times that it requires you to spend Robux, which I'm not a big fan of. So adding them to the arcade will just add another way to get them, and will be the first thing I want Loomian Legacy to add. Now, the second most wanted feature is improvements to the Battle Coliseum. Now, out of the three aspects of the game, being PvP, hunting, and trading, PvP is probably the most fun, but they could do so much better with it. Currently, when you try to select a battle, you have a couple things you can do. You can either run competitive and casual, change the levels from level 5, 50, or 100, or have them unchanged if you want to, only singles and doubles, team previews, and spectate. That's it! You cannot change the timer, you cannot do random battles, you cannot choose the number of level that you want, you cannot have rank, because rank is not even in the game yet. And you can't have other settings. You can only have one background, which is really sad. I wish you could choose multiple backgrounds to battle in. They should make battling more customizable. They should add a timer feature, so you can either make the timer 30 seconds per play to 2 minutes. So if you're just a PvP or just getting into the game, you can use 2 minutes and take more time with your decisions. Or you can put the timer all the way down to 15 seconds, which will make quick-paced decisions to completely change the pace of each match. Make each match feel different, and will add a lot more to the PvP scene in general. And I know rank is going to add some stuff, but adding some more customizability in the battles and new backgrounds will really help freshen up the game. Oh, and also one more thing. I'm not going to forget about this. Yes, you can actually get gummies from this shop, but you know what you should also add? Boost tokens. Add boost tokens to the battle shop for 100 CP. Like, don't make boost tokens easier to get, but make them more accessible so players can actually get them easier. Also, make CP easier to get in general. Do it like Doodle World, where you actually get VP when you lose. Actually make it so you get CP when you lose battles. Like, if you win every battle, you get 3 CP. And you could get more, and you could shrink it up to 10 if you want to. But if you lose a battle, you'll still gain 1. Because honestly, the people that you lose the battle need the CP more than the people that are constantly winning. So, yeah, that would just make the PvP grind a lot easier, and will keep players playing the game longer. And that's the second most wanted feature in Loomian Legacy. And the third most wanted feature that I want is a daily reward system. So the problem is with Loomian Legacy is lack of replayability other than playing PvP and hunting. And since hunting has got stale and PvP is just the same thing back and forth, having a daily reward system can really help the replayability of the game and make it simple, make the quest simple, like catching 5 Twilights on a certain route, or get something with the pure nimble archetype, or catch a roaming in this day, and it can give you an award, like a disc, or gummies, or just a couple other things. It doesn't even have to be anything big. It doesn't even have to be boost tokens. It doesn't even have to be shards. It can just be something that the players can keep going back to and gaining stuff, grinding the game for longer. And while at it, add a weekly reward system where you have multiple quests to do within the week and you get a better prize. For example, you can get like an exclusive alpha skin which you can put on any Loomian that is not a roam. Or have something like getting a boost token after completing 5 quests. Or have something that if you win 5 PvP battles, or if you trade 5 Loomians, you get something out of it. It's just a little extra bits to the game that can really keep players playing for longer without adding too much pressure to the Loomian Legacy developers. It just sounds like something that is very simple to add that will make it easier for the developers while actually keeping the players playing the game longer. So a daily and weekly reward system is my 3rd most wanted addition in Loomian Legacy. And plus, make the prizes solid, like make it so like it's advanced disc or like maybe even the occasional shard and boost token every once in a while. Have people a reason to actually do the daily rewards. My 4th wanted feature in Loomian Legacy is actually to improve the trading. Because right now, it's kind of in a rough state. The values are very confusing to learn. Also, a lot of controversies have come from trading. And a lot of big Loomian Legacy creators have kind of civilized the values of Loomians, which can make people seem very scammy. But not just that, also just improve the trading system itself. Because you can only give away 4 Loomians at the same time. Adding a lot more options can make trades more flexible. So add like 8 spots instead of 4. And that's so there's less of a chance for players to get scammed. Because the problem is, there's certain rules you do with trading. You gotta make sure you trust the other player. And since you can only give away 4, if you're given like 8 Loomians to get 2, you give away your 4 and get nothing. And then they steal your 4 and then they keep their 2. Essentially getting scammed. Adding multiple spots to the trade can add more flexibility to the trades, add more value within certain Loomians, and also lessen the chance of getting scammed. So yeah, that's my 4th most wanted feature. Adding more spots in the trade spot. Making it so, instead of trading for 4 Loomians as the max, trade it as like 8 as the max, 12 as the max, and just add more options so it just makes it easier to trade away Loomians. The 5th thing I want is a resettable mastery. Because mastery is currently the only extra thing you can do in the game. And once you do your mastery is done for good, and you cannot get back to it at any time whatsoever. And yes, completing the mastery does give you the chance of getting the gamma skins for each of these Loomians. I know that. But adding an option to reset your mastery could really help in the grinding aspects of the game. Yes, it might convince less people of actually hunting for certain Loomians, which that is a flaw. But it will at least make people have more options to earn the mastery rewards multiple times, certainly grinding it out and getting as much as they need to while grinding throughout the game. And also, update a couple of these, because these type of things that you do for the mastery are almost the same thing. Discover all evolutionary stages, earn 3,000 experience, rally a certain number of them, knock out a certain number of them, use a certain amount of super effective moves on them. So also change a couple of these just to add a little bit more spicing up into actually grinding the mastery, so more players have an incentive to grind it and grinding the rewards. Now I know this one might be questionable because, you know, a lot of people will do this because they would just rather keep their mastery so they can get gammas easier, but for the die-hard Loomian Legacy players, they will reset this and grind for stuff and eventually get all their mastery back. And that's why I really want Resettable Mastery as an option to be added into Loomian Legacy as my 5th most wanted feature. And my 6th most wanted feature is actually the PvP boxes themselves. So, you use 50 Robux and you get the first 50 boxes. Just by 50 Robux. So 50 Robux, I think it's 50. It's either 50 or 100. You use almost no Robux, you get 50 boxes. Awesome. That is an amazing deal to get that many boxes. But the problem is, if you want to get more than 50, one is 40. You heard that correctly. 5 of them is 200. And if getting another 40 boxes for 50 Robux, This is actually only 5 boxes for 4 times the price. And if it is 100, it's 2 times the price, which just makes it absolutely ridiculous. What I think Loomian Legacy should do is one of 2 options. Either decrease the prices for these boxes, or give you the first 50 PvP boxes for free. Because you only start with like 8 to 10 of them. I think it's 10 now. I think they just updated it. But since you only start with 10 of the boxes, and it requires 50 Robux to actually get the next 40, why can't they just give you the 50 boxes to start the game? And then for the diehard players, use the Robux to get more boxes. Because it makes no sense that it takes 50 Robux to buy 40 boxes, but it takes 200 Robux to buy 5 boxes. It just makes no sense. Plus, if you just get rid of the 50 Robux moniker for the it will just make free-to-plays play your game a lot longer. Well, and people who want to get more PvP boxes, they're gonna buy it anyway. Don't be worried about players actually buying the stuff, because they will buy the stuff anyway. But if you have more players to your game, if you get more free-to-plays, the more chances of money y'all can make. So that is my 6th most wanted feature. It makes it easier for the free-to-play players to get more boxes, and it gives y'all more of a chance to get thicker wallets. So yeah, that's my 6th most wanted addition. My 7th most wanted addition is actually revives. Now, I'm not sure if revives will ever come to the game, but that can really be a lifesaver for certain people, because it's kind of a pain in the butt. If you have a Loomian that is fainted, and you're like in the middle of hunting, you cannot revive that Loomian. And while just putting a fainted Loomian in the PC box and taking it out heals it, or going to one of these stations, they're not always accessible. It's just a waste of time. And if you're in the middle of your boost, or if you're in the middle of a PvP battle, or if you're in the middle of a trainer battle, it will be tough seeing that Loomian faded and not actually getting XP, or having your one spare Loomian fainted to the point where you're risking either throwing an ace disc or risking taking out the Loomian that you want to catch. Having revives in the shop will help a lot for free-to-plays, and also for people that are hunting a lot and accidentally have their Loomian getting KO'd. Adding revives will absolutely help the game in the long run, and while it isn't a massive feature, it will help free-to-plays, it will help hunters, and it will help a ton of other players just in general. And that's why revives are my 7th most wanted feature in Loomian Legacy. And my 8th most wanted addition is more mini-games. Yes, we do have the arcade, and yes, the arcade games are fun, but there are a lot of missed opportunities. Other than Atlantean City, all of the cities don't really have too much to them, and the routes themselves, other than Rally Ranch, there are not really any reasons to go to that route other than the hunt for certain Loomians. That's kind of it. Adding more mini-games and adding more stuff to the routes and cities will actually make the routes and cities feel more interconnected. Like this volleyball game, for example. Have an option where you can actually play the volleyball and get as many rallies as you can. Just something small, just to get a high score. Add a leaderboard to something like this. Go to like Atlantean City or something and add something to the city itself. How about let me go to it for a second. Boop. How about Sylvan City? Sylvan City is a city that's kind of lost in time. It's a city that looks like it could have so much. Look at how big the city is. There's even shops within here. Have this an area where you can buy certain things. Have this as an area that you can do certain quests. Have a mini quest from this guy, like with the Raburn. Like, add extra stuff and make the cities and routes feel more interconnected by adding either mini games, quests, or other stuff. Because right now, a lot of the routes and cities feel just out of place. The only 2 routes that I can possibly think of that have extra stuff to do is Rally Ranch, and that's the TP train and rally certain Loomians. And of course, Atlantean City, because of the mini games in the arcade and the daily wheel, and a couple other stuff that you can do. But other than that, you pretty much go to these areas either to battle the battle theater or to hunt for the Loomians. That's it. That's all you get. So adding more stuff to these cities and routes, like extra mini games and quests, will make the cities and routes feel more interconnected. It will give the players a better experience. That's my 8th most wanted addition for Loomian Legacy. And my 9th most wanted feature in Loomian Legacy is something that's going to sound kind of dumb. The ability to jump. I know this sounds stupid, but you cannot jump in Loomian Legacy whatsoever. And I understand why it is a thing, because, you know, there are certain stuff that you might be able to just jump out of. I understand that. But just adding an ability to jump will make moving around a lot more fun and a lot easier. I mean, even Doodle World has an ability for you to jump. Like, I know it sounds kind of ridiculous and a very tiny addition, I know, but just adding an ability to jump will make traversing the worlds a lot better and just a lot more fun. Like, just add something on top of this rock that you can jump up. Add more parkour stuff to add more chests around the places. It's another way to add more interactability with the routes. So yeah, I think adding jumps, as dumb as this sound, is my 9th most wanted feature in Loomian Legacy. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but just, I like the jump, and the fact that the game limits me on jumping just makes me feel really sad. In the 10th most wanted edition in Loomian Legacy is making boost tokens more accessible. Yes, my opinion has not changed about these things. There are only a couple ways to get these boost tokens. One, from the Mastery, which you only get like a few, and two, from the Daily Wheel, which is like a 1 in 24 chance of getting 3 of them. Yay! That's kinda it. Other than that, you gotta use your well-earned Robux out of your parents' credit cards to buy boost tokens. And I get that boost tokens are usually just a novelty throughout the casual game, but for the competitive scene and hunting, boost tokens are essential, because if you don't have the boost tokens to hunt for any of the rare skins of Loomians, you're not going to do so hot in trading and hunting. You pretty much just save the boost tokens for events, and that's it, because they're so hard to get without wasting your money. What I really want Loomian Legacy to do is add more ways to get boost tokens. I'm not necessarily saying make them easier to get, not at all, but add more ways to get them. Since there's almost no ways to get the boost tokens without using your money, it's going to just turn off a lot of players. It's going to make people not hunt for the Loomians. It's going to make people turn off your game and not play. It's going to make less players play the game in general, and that's why the player base is leaving. If you add more ways to get them, like add them to the arcade, add a daily quest system to earn them, add them in the Battle Coliseum. If you just add more ways to get them, but make them hard to get. Don't make them easy to get to heavily inflate the game, but add ways to get them so more players can grind at the game, stay at the game longer, and the most dedicated of players will still buy for these things, while the people that are grinding can grind for those and will actually use their boost tokens on stuff that is not Gleaming Encounters and Roaming Corrupt, and can actually use them on other stuff, like training points, experience gained, and rally rate. Because the only times I ever use these is for Gleaming Encounters. There's no reason to use your boost tokens on the other stuff, because they're so hard to get without using Robux. If you add more ways to get them, make them more accessible to the players, make them more accessible to free-to-plays as well, that it will make it so players can actually get a pretty good number of these and actually use these for these other boosts. It will add more players to the game. It will make the hunters actually have a reason to hunt outside of events, and will also just keep the players playing the game for a lot longer and having more replayability. So yes, making boost tokens is my 10th and probably most requested feature I want in Loomian Legacy. Make them more accessible. Make them more accessible. Make them more accessible. You hear me, Loomian Legacy developers. Make them more accessible. Please, for the sake of the player base, please, I want this game to do well. Please. Anyway, that is my video on my 10 most wanted additions I want in Loomian Legacy. And these additions I can see that can make the game better. But, you know, it's just my opinion. Everyone else has different opinions on what features they want added. And also, I'm not part of the dev team. The developer team can do whatever they want. They can add these features, they cannot add these features. It's all down to them. What are some additions that y'all want to be added in Loomian Legacy? And tell me in the comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!